Juan Fernandez coming to you from the KCAL News studios, along with Mike Rogers at the desk. Desmond Shaw in SkyCal coming to you with breaking news. Several brush fires burning right now in the Southland. Our focus right now is in Perris in Riverside County. Let's go ahead and go up to Desmond Shaw, who just arrived there above SkyCal. What's going on there, Des?
Well, Juan, just almost as soon as the weather began to heat up, now we have our first serious fire of the year. They're calling it the Juniper Fire here off of Santa Rosa Mine Road. And look, we can verify that at least one home engulfed in flames at this point. We have reason to believe that at least a couple of others may have burned as well. So we're just getting to the scene, and we'll scan around and see what else we can find. This fire's only been burning for a little bit more than an hour, and we just heard the update here from one of the firefighting aircraft overhead. They're saying it is now at 50 acres. The last official acreage they had was 15. So it went from 5 to 15 now to almost 50 acres here, burning in this rural area on the border of Lake Elsinore and Perris. I'll put up our map tracker and show you the dirt roads that we're talking about here. Blue Sky Road, Juniper Road, Cook Court, El Nido Road. That's where we're seeing the majority of the fire activity. They have swarmed this with water-dropping helicopters. They have one of the big MD-80s with the fire retardant. You can see they're already dropping a lot of fire retardant. There's some of it on that hillside here. But our first very serious fire of the season burning out of control here in the Inland Empire, Juan.
A pretty serious fire. And Mike Rogers at the desk, you were telling me that this fire is growing at a very rapid rate of speed, right?
Yeah, right, Juan. They call it the critical rate of spread, which means it's spreading faster than they can get control of it. It's one of the fastest types of fires that spread like this. And you can see happening so quickly they can't even get these homes protected with any kind of aerial protection or anything like that. They're just really burning at a quick rate. I also want to show you, if we can come to my computer really quick, there are mandatory evacuations for this. They're inside this red box. So you see anything south of Santa Rosa Mine Road, anything to the east of this road, El Baquero Road, this whole area, this Steel Valley subdivision, anything within this red box is in a mandatory evacuation zone right now. So obviously, if you live in this area, you are probably already aware of this fire, but there are mandatory evacuations for this. As we take SkyCal back full, we can see a lot of the active flame has actually started to die down a little bit. They've done a great job with those retardant drops. Unfortunately, we have lost at least this one home that we see. We believe others have been lost as well. One.
Yeah, we can see those Phos-Check lines being dropped there on the scene. They're just sadly to the right of that home that is burned. And this really brings into context here. We had such a May gray. We had the beginning of June was also one, and most of the month we saw some very cloudy and cool conditions. The heat is now just ramping up. I understand temperatures are going to keep building throughout the week here, and immediately we're seeing these fires.
Well, and to make matters worse, everything that grew over the winter from the wet winter is now very dry and very flammable, and it doesn't take long at all to catch fire. And now, Juan, while we talk about this fire, some of the resources from this fire are actually being pulled now to another fire just east of Redlands in the Mentone area. So they're dealing with fires in both parts of this area, trying now to kind of split the resources.
And we know these firefighters always at the ready, but again, as you're saying, as things keep growing and changing, they're going to pull resources from here. And look how big the scar area is in just a short amount of time. When I first heard of this fire, it was at about 15 acres. Desmond was saying it's at about 50 now. And you can see it doesn't look like there's a lot of brush, or that there was a lot of brush around this home, but it didn't seem to matter there. What was there burned.
And it's right up the hillside. I mean, these fires just chew up the top of a hill very quickly. They can make a run for it. Any little bit of wind will have them do that. That's why, as Des shows us this, you see, and there's another retardant drop there, but they're all kind of on the tops of the hills to keep them from cresting over to the other side of the hill.
Desmond, we want to go back up to you. What do you see from your vantage point right now? Are you seeing anything that may be of interest right now? We know we have that home burning. We see the Phos-Check lines being dropped. But do we see many fire crews down below?
There are definitely some ground crews down here. We'll see if we can find them kind of spread throughout the area. We know that there's at least 100 firefighters on the ground that are on this. Here is some of them coming into the scene here. It's going to be Riverside County Fire, I believe, primarily in charge of trying to get this one under control. And, it does look like they got the fire retardant drops out here so quickly. You just saw that other one that happened. The MD-80, the one that carries the most of the retardant, has now returned to San Bernardino, probably to fill up with another load to come back over and to drop this to try to completely encircle this fire. Here you can see one of the smaller planes involved in this as well. Not really seeing hardly any open flame. They were able to stop it in its tracks here as it tried to race up that hillside. So that is certainly some good news that we can find. But this one, out of control. This home is going to be a total loss, unfortunately. This one is on Santa Rosa Mine Road. And we do know that at least a few other structures we believe have burned. I saw one, it may have just been an outbuilding that was burning in this area. Here you can see the firefighters on the ground. It looks like they were able to save the main home, at least. Wow, but you have some, sprawling ranch properties, a lot of brush out here. Like Mike was saying, a lot of overgrowth as well. And when you have, this much brush, even if you kind of do that defensive clearance around your home, these fires could just, explode pretty quickly. And we're looking here at this shot, Mike and Des, not a lot of homes in this area, not a lot of homes concentrated. These are homes that have a lot of ranch or around the house, right? Yeah, and I mean, this is why the fire departments will always tell you that brush clearance is so important, because all it takes, and even if you look at the other hillsides that haven't burned, the brush here and the vegetation is not very tall. We're not talking big forest fire here where it's jumping from, kind of pine tree to pine tree. This is pretty low-lying brush, but it can really take off really quickly. And if you don't have the area around your home, clear with distance, we can see what's happening now, which is some of these homes are burning. And look how rocky the terrain is there as well, which is going to make it very difficult for firefighters to get in there. Obviously, from the areas where they need to battle this fire. Susie Sudd joining now, KCAL News at 4, coming to you a little bit early today with this breaking news story. Several brush fires burning around the Southland. The focus right here is Perris in Riverside County, where a fire that started at about 15 acres quickly grew to 50. And as we speak, Susie, I'm assuming that fire has continued growing.
Yeah, it's true. And you can see these water dropping helicopters doing their work, and the ground crews there on the ground. They're going to make some use of those ground crews, especially after they mop up those flames, especially after that. They're going to be cutting those lines around this fire just to make sure it's contained, that this fire cannot go anywhere else after this. But as you can tell from just this smoke, you guys, this, firefighters are definitely getting a handle on this one. We've been talking about the, so much brush after all that rain that we've had this winter, and so much brush to burn out there. And, temperatures are certainly up today. I wonder if we can check in with meteorologist Alyssa Carlson for a look at the humidity levels down there in Perris. Alyssa?
Susie, right now I'm just, of course, checking the readings, and we're looking at about 40 to 45% for the humidity levels. And with that being said, it's not terribly low, but yet it is low enough that things are pretty dry. And I really think probably one of the biggest culprits out there would have to be the winds. And earlier today we were talking about those winds picking up, especially out in the desert areas as well as the Inland Empire. If you look at the wind map right now, you'll notice that we are seeing some stronger winds, gusting up towards 15, 25 miles per hour out of the south and west. So with that being said, the lower humidity levels also coming into play here. As we take a look into tonight, things will wind down. And another thing that I am going to be watching tonight is that humidity level going back up. So that is good, because the humidity levels, obviously, the lower they are, the more likely that things are going to spread. And we also want those winds to calm down a bit. And so once we get to sunset, granted it's later this time of year, definitely after 7 p.m., we'll start to see things a little bit better weather-wise for firefighters. But certainly they do have a little bit more work ahead of them right now because of those winds out of the south and west.
Yeah, and when we talk about those winds, that's a really good point to make, Alyssa, because of the fact that when we have embers blowing and allowing like this, and you add wind to that, it just takes one ember to blow to somewhere else, perhaps to another house, another property, to start another fire there. And already we're talking about multiple structures lost at this point. And it looks like I see some power lines also here in Desmond's shot, which also creates another problem as well for firefighters and people in the area, and even people down the line, right? They may lose power for a while if the fire does burn through those power lines. You can see one of those power lines there on the right. Yeah, I mean, the first thing they're going to do is cut that power off. There's no reason to have it on while they're trying to deal with this. I'm just checking Edison really quick to see if they've got any outages reported. So far they don't, although I'm sure that will change. Now, I also just wanted to bring up just how susceptible everything is right now to this fire. I mean, we've got this fire, we've got another one in San Bernardino, and I was just notified that Camp Pendleton also dealing with a vegetation fire on their property. So it is hot out as we get a better look of this structure. Now completely destroyed. You see the pool there in the backyard. I think I can see several cars that have also burned. So this home is now completely gone as this fire ripped through, guys. And so crazy. The temperature only really creeped up just a short time ago, right? We saw cool, mild temperatures. I know this weekend, Saturday was kind of hot, but
I mean, now we're starting to see the temperatures rise. We're talking about record breakers in the next coming days. I think Marquina Brown was talking about a possible heat wave hitting us as well, and we'll check back with Alyssa on that. But look at this. The heat goes up just a little bit. Humidity is not that low. It's not in the single digits, and we're already seeing these fires, roaring 3 at this hour.
You know, it really seems like as soon as that June gloom went away, truly we've been seeing these smaller, vegetation fires pop up, and this is actually a bigger one that we're seeing today with property damage. Just so heartbreaking to see, obviously, for some of the residents who may live in one of these homes and they might be at work right now and not even know what's happening to their home. But it just goes to show it can happen in an instant, and with talk of wind out there, with Alyssa Carlson talking about that, you just take some heat, some wind, and, they just perfect fire conditions, right, we're talking about.
Yeah, the wind can really be, I guess, the worst culprit, right, because those embers fly through the air. And Alyssa, you have some information for us?
Yeah, I was just talking to another member here of our weather team, and we're sitting here looking at the winds, and we do have a little bit of an update for you. And we're now looking at winds now shifting from time to time out of the north and west. They don't appear to be too terribly strong, but it is enough where they're up to about 15 miles per hour. Also looking here at temperatures around 84 degrees, and I am told there is possibly another fire that has just developed too, and of course that hasn't quite been confirmed yet. We're continuing to watch that one, but we're looking at humidity values at 34% now.
And 84 degrees, not that hot, right?
I mean, we've had hotter, that's for sure, exactly.
Oh, we've been much hotter than that out in the Inland Empire, as we know, but we had so much rain. We have so much more vegetation to work with, and we all had a fear that this could possibly happen. Of course, this is one of the first ones that we're seeing now, but it could shape up to be a very active fire season.
Wow. And Mike, this is called the Juniper Fire. Any word yet from firefighters what may have started?
No, that's all still under investigation. I mean, right now they're just really trying to get the flames out. And again, as I mentioned, some of their resources are being pulled to go to that fire in San Bernardino County. Now, we are dealing with here, we're CAL FIRE Riverside Fire, County Fire. It's a kind of combination between CAL FIRE and the county. Same thing up in San Bernardino, it's CAL FIRE and San Bernardino County Fire. So CAL FIRE involved in both of these, and I was just looking, just kind of to the northwest of where the fire is burning is Lake Matthews, and that's actually where the helicopters are picking up water from. So it's not a terribly far distance at all, which is really good news. And then you have your fixed wings that load up with FOSCHEC, and they're landing. Looks like San Bernardino Airport, March Air Force Base is right here as well. So the good news is they're not having to go far to get the resources they need, which is, as Desmond pointed out not too long ago, we don't see a ton of active flame left, and that's probably from that very aggressive aerial attack. And they were lucky enough that they have some pull points fairly close.
Thank goodness. And Desmond's showing us right there the shot of the firefighters on scene, and there's that area there still burning pretty strong. Desmond, do you still see those air resources in your area, or as Mike was saying, some have been pulled to the fire in San Bernardino? Are they still out there?
I don't see any water dropping helicopters out the window right now. We're up at about 6,500 feet, so it have a pretty good vantage point. Actually, I say that, and I do see one coming right back in right now. So I think we're going to see a water drop going on. But yeah, they may, as Mike was saying, kind of dividing their resources right now. As we zoom in on this helicopter, we'll see where they go and drop right now. But don't see the MD-80. They already came here and dropped at least 1 or 2 big loads of the FOSCHEC, the fire retardant there on the hillside here, and it really kind of has stopped the fire in its tracks, where we're seeing that home that's a total loss. That is kind of the main part of the fire that we're seeing, and then there was some other brush as well, but it does at least look like they are beginning to get a handle on this, but it's just so scary to see how quickly it can spread when, as we were just talking about, the wind's not very strong today, maybe at about 10 or 15 miles an hour. You just shudder to think, what could happen during Santa Ana wind season.
Yeah. Mike Rogers, you said there were mandatory evacuation orders underway for residents in this area? Yeah,
there are, and if we have the ability to come to my computer again, I can show you here exactly what we're talking about. Desmond's kind of pointed it out. Santa Rosa Road is one of them. Santa Rosa Mine Road right here. You see anything in this red box. So Santa Rosa Mine Road is the northern border, and then you have El Baquero Road is going to be the western border, and then kind of off to the east you have the Christmas Tree Lane, this Steel Valley subdivision down here at the bottom. All of this is going to be in your mandatory evacuation zone right now, and you can see it's a pretty good swath of land. Right here, this is Lake Matthews. This is that area that I was telling you about a little bit earlier. That's where they're pulling water out of, and then they're bringing it down to the fire. So you can see in relation to the fire, really not that far at all. And then you've got San Bernardino Airport right here, which is where the MD-80 is taking Phos-Check from. So things are luckily pretty close, but yeah, this red box is where the mandatory evacuations are.
Yeah, but as you're showing us with your map, Mike, you know, thank goodness, except for that subdivision on the right side of the corner right there, the right hand, the bottom corner there that you were talking about, these homes, a lot of them, the ranch-style homes are spread apart, and thank goodness for that, because we're talking about these embers. And, you know, if these homes were stuck together, which we have seen in, you know, covering fires in the past.
Right, yeah, I switched it to satellite view because I just really want to point out how kind of sparse this area is, but just right here to the west of it, you have subdivisions. You have, you know, whole neighborhoods of homes that could be going up. So this is, you know, fires are never in a good spot. We never want to see, you know, homes get lost. But as far as where this could have happened, very close to it, we're kind of in a good shape there.
The good thing when you zoomed into those homes, Mike, when you showed us the terrain, it looks like those houses have pretty good brush clearance there. Looks like a lot of open space away from the homes,
I can't imagine this is their, you know, their first runaround with fires here. So, you know, homeowners are always told to have good defensible space. And it looks like, you know, hopefully at least from whenever this imagery was taken, which actually looks like it was this year, you can see that, yeah, there is some decent
They've done a good job
brush
there.
Clearance here, yeah.
Desmond, we did see one of those water drops, yes?
Yes, we did, and it was on some of this brush that was in this area pretty close to the home that is burning. That was one of the Firehawks, basically technically a Black Hawk, which I believe it can carry at least 1,000 gallons of water, and you saw just how effective they can be in their drops. So I'll be curious to see if the MD-80 comes back and drops any more fire retardant. We'll just widen out and show you here. They pretty much encircled the fire, I would imagine, just about as much as they would want. They might want to get a little bit more on kind of the eastern side here to completely encircle the fire. Just an interesting fact I learned that every time one of those MD-80s comes and drops fire retardant, it costs about $50,000. I think that's not just that's the cost of the maintenance of the plane, the fuel, and then obviously the fire retardant itself. And so, you know, you just kind of start to think about how expensive even just a little fire like this can be, and we're really only at the beginning of fire season.
And that's per drop?
Yeah, it is. And really quick, Des, we were talking about the MD-80. I'm watching it on the radar. The MD-80 has also been diverted to the other fire in San Bernardino. So they've got now far more aircraft on that fire than they do on this one, mainly because, as Desmond has pointed out, kind of the active flame is starting to go away. So what's going to happen now is you have these hand crews, and they're the ones that really get nitty-gritty, really, you know, into the depths of this fire. And what they'll do, and we'll see them from time to time with shovels and pickaxes, and they're going to start clearing away any fuel for the fire on the edge of it, and they'll dig out a really big line, perimeter containment line around the whole fire. And I think that's what they're doing right here as Des zooms in. Yeah, they're pulling hose, and they're going to get all the hot spots and really make sure that it doesn't jump their containment line that they've got already.
How far is the Juniper fire from the fire in San Bernardino?
If we can take my computer one more time, I can show you. So right here is the Juniper fire that we're talking about. This is KCAL right here.
Okay.
You can see some of the other aircraft. This is a little tanker, another tanker, and a sky crane here. The other fire up in San Bernardino, which is being called the Nice Fire, is right here. So we're next to Mentone, Ukaipa. This is the MD-80 that Des and I were talking about. It's called Tanker 102 is its call sign. So they're all up here, and you've got another sky crane here, another tanker. This is another Huey from the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. So they've got a lot more air resources up here, but they're not, you know, when you look at them on the map together, they're not terribly far from one another.
That map's amazing, though. You can see where the resources are going. And I'm wondering, Desmond, can you see out your window? Can you see smoke from that distance at that altitude that you're at?
We were just looking out the front of the window here from about 6,500 feet. Unfortunately, we have some pretty nasty air quality today, so we can't quite see that far. I can only probably see about 20 or 30 miles in front of me. I don't see a big plume of smoke yet on that one, but it may just be kind of blending in with the sorry air quality that we have this afternoon.
Yeah, we're talking about multiple brush fires burning in Southern California this afternoon. Let's go back to meteorologist Alyssa Carlson for a look at the weather conditions out there. Alyssa.
And Susie, also tracking here now the Nice Fire, and that fire looking to be about 50 to 60 acres. So as we are watching that, to check out the weather conditions conditions there. It's not too far from where we're looking there at the Juniper Fire, but over there in San Bernardino, now at this location, we're looking at 86 degrees for the temperature with still winds sustained out of the west at 12, which is not a very strong wind, but nevertheless, humidity values are lower here at 22%. So that's about half of the humidity value that we're seeing at the other location, and that is very low humidity. So when we have low humidity values like this, we're knowing that things are very dry and there is a higher fire danger. Now, we were forecasting earlier to see that higher fire danger in the Antelope Valley today, but notice how we are starting to even see it here in these inland locations there into the Inland Empire. We're going to just continue to watch for this to amplify as we head into this holiday weekend, I'm afraid, because we're going to see the system coming in from the west. So I don't want to bring bad news upon bad news, but nevertheless, we do have to be realistic that we are going to be watching for higher fire danger as we head into the rest of this week now and into the weekend.
And it's just the start of summer too, Mike and Susie, right?
Right.
It's true. 4th of July just around the corner, and we know what happens on 4th of July, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, one of the stories that we're going to be talking about later is these massive fireworks busts that have happened in San Bernardino. So in a place where we're dealing with fire. And I don't know if our director can come back out to my computer one more time. I did find a wildfire camera that is looking at the other fire, the nice fire, up in San Bernardino. So you can see it. It's on your right. This is a time-lapse video. It's one of the CAL FIRE cameras that are up there. And so you can see, again, we're dealing with the same type of topography here. You see a fire helicopter there as well, but some low brush moving through the hills, creeping up the hills. And so this is another fire now they're contending with over there as well. This is the one in San Bernardino County.
Would you know, Mike, if the air resources from Canada are already here for our fires?
They are not. Our Quebec, you're talking about Quebec 1 and 2. Those are our super scoopers.
The Chinooks, right?
They don't. Those are super scoopers. The Chinooks are here. They're not on this fire though, and I don't entirely know why. I can try to find out the answer to that. But our super scoopers usually come in November-ish.
That's right, later in the year.
So we're a little further out from that. Now, the Chinooks that you're talking about, one lives in Orange County, one lives in LA, and one lives in Ventura. So it could be a situation where they don't want to pull that resource from another county just yet unless they absolutely have to. I did see the LA County Chinook pop up on the radar for a quick second and then it put down back at Van Nuys. So they may not have requested that just yet, but it's always an option, yeah.
Interesting, right?
Really interesting. And, you know, if you're just joining us here on KCAL News at 4, this is breaking news of a fire happening right now in Perris, burning multiple homes. And as we've been showing you, 100 firefighters plus, they're on the scene, mopping up hot spots on the ground and getting a containment line around this fire. As you can see from Desmond's shot from KCAL here, you can definitely see the damage this fire has done to multiple homes, burning multiple homes and structures, as well as this area that, you know, we've been talking about. I mean, you know, the fact that these homes are, you know, spread apart a little further, you know, than we normally see in those neighborhoods, you know, subdivisions, for example, which there is one nearby, but the flames didn't get as close. Thank goodness for that. But my goodness, Juan, I mean, we've seen, you and I have covered fires in the field where you see those flames, the embers just literally jump over and hopscotch one home to the other. And it's just heartbreaking to see that.
I mean, they move so quickly, there's nothing you could do. You see the embers at ground level, and once they start flying, again, the wind takes it miles and miles away. And Alyssa's been telling us that things have been very windy. Alyssa, in fact, you've got some information for us.
You know, they've been windy, but not that windy in terms of what we would normally expect to see these fires spread very quickly. But we have seen those winds up to 15 miles per hour. As we take a look here at the wind gusts, if you look at the corner of your screen by the 215, there's Perris, and then you look over near Lake Matthews. We're right in between that area, really west of Perris and closer to Lake Matthews. Well, in that case, we're looking at winds coming in here out of the north and west, upwards then of 15 to 20 miles per hour at times. And then the other fire, if you look to the northern portion of your screen, I know there's a lot of data on here, up near San Bernardino and Santa Ana Canyon, there you're looking at about 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. So we know that obviously it's a little breezy out there, and when the winds are whipping through those mountain passes and canyons, it's a drying wind. And so that's helping to lower that humidity value, especially out in San Bernardino. So out into that area, we're looking at lowering humidity values, and then that just amplifies the fire.
Yeah, and looking at this shot from KCAL, you can see the work that airdropping aircraft have done this afternoon in this area, just making incredible work on this fire, surrounding this fire with fire retardant or
very quickly.
Very quickly, and they moved right out to cover another fire. So, you know, thank goodness for the folks up in the air tankers who are, you know, making quick work of this and dropping tons of water just to, you know, save some of these homes, save some of these properties. And obviously they did an incredible job, because all you can see here now, no open flames to speak of as far as we can see from our vantage point right now, just a lot of thinner smoke.
And you can see right there where that wispy smoke is that Desmond's showing us. It's right there where that Phos-Chek was dropped. So it's not moving any farther from where it is right there, which allows those hand crews to get in there, more water dropping helicopters to come in and extinguish the flames. But a little less smoky than it was just a short time ago when we first came on the air. We saw a lot of black smoke, and here we have still some smoke, still some spot fires burning. But again, the wind and the heat making it a bit more difficult to fight this juniper fire. And again, the nice fire burning in San Bernardino, that's at about 50 to 60 acres. And I'm guessing as we speak, those numbers are going to keep going up.
Yeah, more than 100 firefighters here on the ground in Perris. And as you can imagine, you know, Alyssa was talking about how hot it is right now, about, you know, 80 some degrees out there. And when you're wearing those turnouts and those, I mean, Nomex, I mean, it's so hot out there already. And to have all that heavy gear on you, really got to give it to all the firefighters.
Not easy.
Not at all, not at all. And it's going to be a long night for them as well. You think this is over just because, you know, the flames are up, but they have a lot of work to do ahead of them.
All right, we're going to continue monitoring the fires burning in Riverside and San Bernardino's, the Juniper Fire and the Nice Fire. KCAL will stay on top of it, so will Mike Rogers at the desk. We'll check back with that in just a minute, but first, more breaking news. All right.